This is Anime Out of Context, a comedy review podcast hosted by a weeb of the highest order, alongside a cynical man who knows nothing about anime. Our show features spoilers, explicit language, and poor fact-checking. Neither of our hosts are experts on any topic, and none of their opinions should be taken as fact. Thank you for listening, and enjoy.
Hello and welcome to Anime Out of Context, the show where I attempt to explain the sometimes weird, sometimes wonderful, but always hilarious world of anime.
And I'm just waiting for time to go by.
I'm Sean Rollins.
I'm Remington Chase. Oh, Sean, would you like to... Okay, so I feel like before we jump into whatever thing, this might be a weird episode for any of our non-patrons. Because Sean and I, for our patrons, we just recorded an hour of awful. It was terrible. It didn't go well. And we are right. It was supposed to get us ready to record, because that's what we do every week, right? We do some pre-banter, get us ready for record. We give that to our patrons. It was pretty fucked. We fucked up this time.
We fucked up. No. En contraire, sir.
But
J'accuse. You fucked up. You dragged me into your machinations, and we have to apologize to our editor on hands and fucking knees.
So if we seem a little bit out of it for the next few minutes until we finally get into the rhythm, that's why. But hey, upwards and onwards. Sean, what's going on this week? What the fuck is happening? What's going on?
Well, to fit the horrible start of this horrible episode, it's the spooky month, Remington.
It is. We are just like a week away from... So far, we've had existential horror. We've had the horror of erratic plot, but we have not had, like, horror or spooky, and we're a week away from Halloween.
Yes, and on Halloween, we will be doing a proper horror anime this year, unlike previous years where I've neglected that.
All right, but that's for next week. What are we doing this week, Sean?
Well, a different kind of horror, Remington.
Oh, no.
The kind of horror that can only be handled by distinguished reviewers such as ourselves.
Oh, yes, but of course.
And that horror is the penultimate version of, well, bad animation, bad art, bad character design, bad plot, bad concepts, bad power systems, bad plots, bad characters, and most egregious of all, an anime that actually can make you motion sick.
Oh, God. All right. So first of all, the motion sick makes me think that it's going to be like CGI. I'm anticipating that we're going into the depths of like a Forest Fairy 5.
I'd argue probably worse than Forest Fairy 5.
Fuck. Oh, God.
Simply due to the fact that it's not like a bad that you can enjoy. I'm gonna go with a bad that is painful. And it's one that we've gotten a lot of emails for, and some of our patrons have been begging for it. And I'm not doing it because of them. No. I'm doing it for me.
Yeah?
Because the horror I had to go through watching not only the first season of this series, the sequel series of this series makes me want to cry.
Oh.
So, I figured...
Oh, no.
I should share this with you, Remington.
Or you could not. I'm already pretty fucked up, I'll be honest. I don't know if I'm capable of surviving. Oh, God. All right. What the fuck are we doing? What's gonna happen?
Well, Remington, have you heard of a little anime called Handshakers?
No, never once. Not even a little bit.
You're a liar, because one of our patrons has it in their name.
Oh, okay. I guess. It doesn't register like that, but I guess so,
well,
yes.
That's good, because it is delightfully awful. I say delightfully. It's not delightful. It's painful. I first heard about this anime, actually, not during one of my usual seasons watching, because this came out in 2017, and I'm going to want you to remember that. Winter of 2017.
Okay.
And I first heard about it when I was surfing anime YouTubers, and I came across a Mother's Basement video simply titled The Roast of Handshakers. So we're not going to be the first ones to cover this one by any stretch of the imagination, but I was deathly curious to hear what you'd think about it.
Oh, no.
And it was a very interesting video, so after coming across that video, I decided to watch the series, see if it'd be good for the podcast. Oh, it's good for the podcast.
Oh?
It's a very good podcast.
When you say good for the podcast, does that mean very bad for a Remington? Because there's a strong correlation between those.
Oh, Remington. It's very bad for a Sean.
See, that could go either way for a Remington, frankly.
Would you like to know the Mal rating of this show?
Synopsis. Hit me with it.
5.39.
Oh my god, dude!
With only 25,000 users rating
Is
it,
that the
of
lowest
course.
we've ever seen?
I think Forest Fairy 5 had a lower one.
That's criminal. Forest Fairy 5 is a goddamn masterpiece. Everybody should watch it.
Disagree. Hard disagree. Yes, Forest Fairy 5 had a 4.44.
Oh, fuck.
But only 493 people have seen it, apparently. And here's the kicker, Rem. They came out in the same season.
Oh my god, that's so good, dude. Oh, all right. Well, that's my baseline. It's essentially, is this show going to beat Forest Fairy 5? That's the benchmark.
It's not. I'm gonna tell you right now, it's not. Because if you can find anything enjoyable in this show, I will be impressed. Because Remington Handshakers is a anime that mixes CG and proper 2D animation, but has some of the worst compositing I've ever seen in an anime.
Oh.
Not to mention a very poor understanding of how things are, to say the least. Like, for example, room structures don't make sense. Titties have more jiggle than imaginable. The sheer audacity of the power designs is absurd. And the character traits, if you can call them that, are accentuated by blandness.
Oh no.
But what is this show? Allow me to just read you the synopsis, Rem.
Go for it.
Those who receive the revelation of Babel must
Jesus.
overcome many battles and trials. By grasping the hand of their special partner, these handshakers transport themselves to the realm of Ziggurat, an alternate dimension where time no longer exists. Each pair of handshakers must battle it out for the right to meet with God, who will reward them by granting a single wish. So that's the brief synopsis.
So they're definitely going strong into ancient Middle Eastern religion, which is an interesting choice.
Yes.
Is that are they going to keep utilizing that as a major theme? Or
Oh yeah, they're gonna keep using those words. They're gonna keep using those words, but they're not exactly going to really.
Okay, perfect.
So that's the setting. Now you're probably dying to know about our main character, I'm sure.
Well, yeah, of course I am. I'm sure they shake hands like it's nobody's business.
Oh yeah. It's obscene. Also, by the way, all these characters have the exact same face, and you'll know exactly what I'm talking about when you see it.
Okay.
Good luck being able to distinguish them clearly.
Oh fuck!
But
I already have such difficulties with that.
yes. Try doing it when your screen is covered in Vaseline. But Tanzuna Takatsuki? Yeah, Takatsuki is a high school student with a penchant for fixing things. He is one of those handshaker. The synopsis. After receiving
What
a
the fuck
request
is a handshaker?
it's one of the people that can hold hands with their partner, gain powers, and earn the right to meet God. Were you not paying attention?
It's a hand holder.
Yes. After receiving a request for repairs from Professor Makihara of a nearby university, because that's what you do. You call a high school student for your repairs. Tazuna stumbles upon Koyori Akutagawa, a bedridden girl that reminds him of his deceased sister, Musubu.
All right, cool.
Remembering her dying wish to never let go of her hand, Tazuna grasps Koyori's hand and awakens his power as a handshaker. So he grabs a chick in a coma, as you do.
Okay.
However, Koyori's life is directly tied to her status as a handshaker, meaning if Tazuna was to ever let go of her hand, she would die.
What the fuck?
With meeting God being their only hope for saving her, the duo must find a way to make their unique powers mesh together, overcome the opposing handshakers, and make the wish come true.
Okay. There's elements here that can be very workable, right?
Yes. Yes.
Essentially having a bunch of different wonder twins whose powers activate together but not separate, right? Having that can be interesting. And then it's not just about your power, it's about the others, it's about how you work together, blah blah blah. Cool. That's all I got. That's where the optimism ends.
See, there's a lot of interesting ideas in this world. Problem is what happens when they actually try to use them, Remington.
Yeah, that's my concern.
Yeah, you could say that. So it's hard to do a preamble. I'll be honest. Like, just due simply to the fact of the sheer horror that is this show. Because Rem, have you ever, out of curiosity, in high school, in driver's ed or whatever, did you ever have to put on the glasses that simulate what your vision is like while you're intoxicated?
Yes, I did.
The drunk goggles, right?
Yep.
You remember how they kind of give everything a slightly warped view as well as like a rainbow sheen?
Yeah, makes it very difficult.
This is what it would be like if you were to watch an anime made by somebody wearing those goggles.
Oh no. Oh no.
Oh yes. Oh yes. I hesitate to show any research of this to poor Mr. Dylan, our editor, because he gets motion sick.
Oh yeah, no.
And I felt like I was going to get motion sick watching the show, and I don't get motion sick.
Oh fuck.
The sheer amount of spinning cameras, weird angles, and poor compositing of 3D environments with 2D drawn characters is its own kind of horror. This is easily, Remington, one of the scariest experiments gone wrong, which I feel like is perfect for a Halloween-esque episode, Remington.
I mean, hey, I'm terrified, so it's accomplished that goal.
Yes. And if you want an in-depth analysis of why the show is awful, go give the Mother's Basement video a watch. It's very good. But for Remington, he's gonna have to experience it firsthand.
Oh, I don't wanna.
Oh, trust me, I didn't either. Sucks to suck, Rem. But with that being said, Remington, let's jump it, shall we?
Yay.
Let's get knee-deep. Let's grab each other's hand and find out how dark the horrors of Halloween truly are with the 2017 failure of an anime, Handshakers.
Oh, fuck.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back after consuming 5 complete episodes of the, well, I can't say hit, interesting 2017 series Handshakers. And Remington, on a scale of 1 to leaning off the side of a ship, how motion sick are you?
Yeah, so I thought that you were probably exaggerating on that point. Or on the other hand, like maybe Sean's just being a little bitch. Maybe Sean is just being a little bitch boy, and it's not a huge deal. Cause I don't really get motion sick with a lot of things. No, Jesus fucking Christ, this show, it did it. It really succeeded on that front. I've never seen a show so visually antagonistic to its audience as Handshakers.
Yeah, no, I don't get motion sick either, Remington. I grew up in a family where boats were a thing, and seasickness just kind of got worked out of me. So the fact that I was able to sit down and watch this rainbow-colored shitstorm and feel queasy tells you a lot.
Yeah, it was not good at all. In fact, I'll be honest, Sean. Handshakers, it's really trying to fight to be a contender for the worst goddamn thing I have ever seen in my life. It hurt me, Sean. It hurt me deeply.
Want to hear something horrible, Rem?
Oh, please. Yeah, that's what I need right now. That's the kind of emotional comfort that'll alleviate my wounds.
So this came out in 2017, right?
Yep.
In 2019, it had a sequel series.
What the fuck are you? What the fuck? No! Who the fuck in their right mind was like, yeah, you know what? We need more of it. Who requested this?
I'd want to know what makes it even worse.
What, Sean?
You know how a lot of times anime are adapted from a light novel or a manga or sometimes a game? This was an original animation.
Oh my god. It didn't even have like a built-in audience. They were just like, yeah, we trust you. Go for it, buddy. Holy shit. Well, you know what? Let's start actually discussing the anime itself. We open up with a shot that looks like someone just like chroma keyed or green screened a DeviantArt character onto to a stock anime background. That's our opening shot, and frankly, what most of the shots in this show look like. It feels disjointed as all hell. We've already talked about the motion sickness. That's because the characters are not actually on the backgrounds, and boy oh boy, does this show love their fucking camera work. Oh god, they are in a circle jerk about their camera work. You'll have so many Dutch angles, you'll do camera flips, you'll have pans, but once again, while you're panning the camera, right, the characters aren't in the same place on the background because they're two separate entities. The background is at very least half CGI, if not full CGI, most of the time, and the characters being 2D, they've been very poorly placed into this background, and so all of the camera angles make it terrible. Oh, but don't worry, that's not all they do with the cameras. You know what would make this shit so much more artistic and better? Give it a fucking fisheye lens half the time. Oh, hell yeah, brother. That's exactly what we needed for the nausea that's setting in both physically and existentially. Perfect, thanks. Whoever thought of that is a goddamn genius.
And Remington, more directorial tricks. The more directorial tricks you have, the more camera angles and spinning. That automatically makes it a work of Hitchcockian genius.
They once saw an interview with a director who said some stuff, and by God, now they're ready to pull it all out. And so we start off with our protagonist, him and white-haired girl, Kaori, something like that. Who the fuck cares? Kiori. So protagonist, who I can't remember his name. He's a bland bitch 12-year-old, I swear to God. Him and
his
Koyori.
name is Tazuna Tatsuki.
Oh, but of course.
So Tazuna.
So they
and Koyori is the girl.
We just pull in. We see an image, because what this show likes to do is I would say foreshadowing. It's just like, here's what you're about to see in 10 minutes. Every single episode. So that's what we get here, and we get these punk S&M couple chasing our protagonists, trying to kill them with the power of magical chains, while also using those chains to seduce the goth girl in the pair. And then we cut to a regular day at school, right? Rewind. It's a regular good old day at school, and our bland bitch protagonist, he's working on like an iPod or something for the student body President Lily. And oh my goodness, he's just so gosh darn talented with machines. He's the goddamn best, right? When Lily puts in her headphones, it should be noted, I'm not joking here, her boobs bob to the beat of the music. That is a serious thing that happens. That is true. That is a fact. Lily, character,
once you have that good baseline.
Lily's character is basically just the writers being like, how can we half justify having her tits move up and down? All of her actions are motivated by whatever moves her tits the most. That's it. That is the foundational element and attribute of her character. That's it. That's all she's there for. That's it. Also, we also get a great example of the absolute subtlety and authenticity that you have in the characters and their dynamics. Because as Lily and remind me, bland bitch protagonist's name?
Tazuna.
As Lily and Tazuna are chatting, you just have a random student just show up. Like, they don't even show his face. He just walks into frame and he's like, "Love, huh?" And then he walks out of the frame. Oh wow. Oh boy. Oh, I couldn't have pieced it together, but now that you've said it, it's all coming together now.
Yeah.
So we see Tazuna, he fixes a few things. He like helps with a car, and then he's like, "Oh no, I'm late to go to this professor's house and help him fix other things." And the way, so the businessman he's talking to and like helping the car or whatever, right? You have Tazuna, "I'm in a hurry." The businessman replies, "That's a nice bike." Tazuna replies, "I like it." And then the businessman says, "Bye." And that's really dialogue in this goddamn show. That is actual words that come out of their faces.
I don't know about you, Rem, but I am entranced. I can't wait to hear what happens next.
So we meet the professor now, right? Or assistant professor rather. because Tazna, he shows up at the house. He just barges in. Nobody's in the house. There's a door that's digitally locked, and then it unlocks for reasons. Tazna's like, yeah, I'm just gonna walk the fuck in here. Fuck y'all. So he walks in, and there's a girl in a hospital bed in this room, in this apartment. And oh man, that stirs up some real tragic memories of Tazna, of his little sister when she was in a hospital bed and she fucking died, and oh god, ain't that sad? All right, now that you've had that moment, Tazna decides, yeah, okay, I'm gonna hold her hand or some shit. I can't remember how it happens. Felt that abrupt.
That's right.
Yeah, so he just holds her hand because she is his sister proxy.
Hand. Yeah.
And oh my god, now that it awakens him. Not sexually, though, probably, as we'll see later. But it awakens him as a handshaker, which we haven't talked enough about how stupid that fucking is, but we don't even have time to talk about how stupid a name that is. Everyone knows that. Moving on. So she wakes up from her coma, and then we finally meet the assistant professor. He just runs on in, right? And I wrote a note here that I genuinely feel bad about.
Yes?
Because I didn't know at the time. As soon as the assistant professor walks on, I wrote, oh my god, this is just Sean a little bit more flamboyant.
Hey, hold on.
I feel bad for saying that because the assistant professor is a terrible character. And Sean, you deserve a lot of nastiness and vitriol against you for everything you've done to me. But not this. Not this far, frankly. You don't deserve it that bad. I didn't know at the time that I had written that note. It's not fair, frankly.
Yeah, not fair. Right. Thanks, buddy. I'm glad that you immediately compared me to a character in one of the shows I very generously described to you as one of the worst things I've ever seen. So thanks, bud. Thanks for trying to find me in the art. I appreciate it.
So, all of a sudden the professor, he's just gone. He just nopes out mysteriously, immediately, out of nowhere. And now our protagonists, neither of them really care that much.
Oh,
they're
they
just
care,
like
Remington. They care.
they're just like, huh, where'd he go? Okay. And so as they're leaving and on their way out, they get stopped by the S&M punk goth people. And now we get to where we were going at the very start of the episode. There's it was break and bind. Break chains and bind chains. As we're going to learn, every single Handshakers team needs an edgy as fuck, but also very juvenile tag team name. And so the S&M Goths have gone with break chains and bind chains because their power is magical chains. Get it?
Oh, the cleverness.
It should be noted, thus far, that is the only naming convention. What is your tool? Okay, that's your name. And that's it. That's fucking it so far. It's not even the worst one. It's not even, how isn't it's so fucking ridiculous. So, all of a sudden, Tazne? Whatever the fuck, I don't give a shit. Tazna, he is super athletic. That's awesome because Koyori is incapable of literally anything. So he piggybacks Koyori and they start running from these chains. Fortunately, in this magical world of the Ziggurat, Tazna, he's super athletic now, because why not? Fuck you. He's super athletic and super talented and super amazing and everything. So he's running, he's escaping, and then we get a nice evil villain monologue from the S&M goth punks as the man has like chained up the goth girl and is literally stomping on her vagina, which she loves. Oh my god, she loves nothing more than him stomping her vagina.
Oh, come on. You must be exaggerating, Remington. He couldn't have literally just been stomping on her like that. Don't be ridiculous.
Any listeners who are skeptical, I think you literally see it in the first 10 seconds, or at least first minute of the show. So that's all you need to watch, frankly, just to know that I am not leading any of you astray.
In the best part is, Remington, vagina stomping is probably the least offensive thing that goes on in this show, so continue.
So fucking bad. So, as the punk guy is stomping on his girl's vagina and giving an evil villain monologue that's like, you don't even know what your Nimrods are. Which, I'm starting to feel like a Nimrod. How is that the name? That is the name of their magical powers, right? That is, a
Yep.
Nimrod is a handshaker's power, which really, that's the biblical name you decided to go with there? Like, first of all, like, maybe you can be like, well, it's not, originally it wasn't talking about like stupid. Bugs Bunny originated Nimrod being stupid. Sure, okay, I get that. But it actually was a name. Okay, then why are you just choosing a random Bible name of just he was strong. Okay, cool. He was a great hunter. Is that it? So you're like, yeah, my power is a biblical hunter. It doesn't make much sense. Why not go with a concept or if you're going to go with a name, go with a better fucking name.
What are you trying to say? Are you trying to say that their Tower of Babel theme was a poorly thought out construct, or the fact that the world they fight in is called the Ziggurat, which is just a stepped pyramid?
Once again, I will always emphasize this every time it comes up. Jargon is not world building. I will say it every fucking time I need to, which seems to be every anime that pretends it has world building. But this is just like, it's not full blown isekai, but it's like half isekai, right? It's sort of isekai.
It's Mirai Nikki without any bite to it.
Yeah, and it's oh god, it hurts. So after the villain monologue of being like, you don't even have your Nimrods, we're gonna beat you easily. And then they attack with the chains, but all of a sudden, I swear to God, Tazuna, he goes Super Saiyan.
Oh, you can't say that. You can't say that. That's a completely different anime. His hair doesn't even turn gold.
No, it turns bright white. So it goes from black to white, and suddenly he's super powerful. And his power, remember how he was really good with machines? His power is gears. They have chains. He has gears. Okay, so he can have a bunch of gears that just show up and protect him, or they can also turn into a sword.
What?
You may think, what exactly are the gears doing? It's just flavor. That's all it is. It's just, I can make a shield, I can make a force field, or I can make a sword, but like, it has a gear skin, and that's it.
I mean, Remington, haven't you ever tried to cut somebody with gears? It's very effective.
Oh, super fucking effective. So we get, I'm gonna call it a fight scene, and that's being real generous about it. It's more so chains are occasionally being whipped into the ground, and you'll have a gear shield that protects the protagonists. And that goes on, it felt like an eternity. It was probably only a few minutes. It was super fucking lame. I was, oh my god, it's supposed to be like the climactic moment of the first episode. I'm getting motion sick because during the fights, and this is a recurring theme, they are absolutely abysmal at having a sense of location and position for the characters. You have the camera just going crazy. You have no idea what location they're in, where they're at. There's no sense of consistency, right? So someone will be right here. Okay, they'll be at point A, and then you'll have a camera rotate, and the next time you see them, they're in a different position, but they haven't moved, and what the fuck is going on? It's a really lame fight, but surprise, surprise, our protagonists, they win. Wow. They beat the S&M punk couple, and that
hey, at least they're dead now, right?
Oh no, Sean, because as we see, I'm glad you mentioned, at the beginning of the next episode, you might think, oh shit, high stakes game at any time, you can just start competing with people. Oh no, the professor, who has returned because they're now back from the ziggurat, it doesn't really explain any of this, it's just like, hey, cool, this is how it works. He explains, wounds received in the ziggurat, not only are they not permanent, they don't even last long. So if you're worried about like death or even like hurting, waking up sore the next day, nah, you'll be fine. You'll have an intense battle that doesn't really matter. I should also note, so the relationship between Tazuna and Koyori, nothing has happened between them other than boom, they're handshakers. All right, now they fight. And Tazuna is like, oh, I will defend you. I will never let go. I will not let you die on my watch. And their sort of justification is like, oh, it reminds him of his little sister. And that's it. That's the whole motivation for why Tazuna is doing everything. He thus far, he doesn't even have a wish, which, I mean, his wish is going to be bringing his sister back. Let's be fucking real. Or giving a little bit more credit. It's going to be, for Koyori. And I say a little bit more credit because once again, not much credit at all. It'll be like, Koyori can be a normal girl or some bullshit.
Yeah, because you neglected to mention Rem. I think I might have mentioned it in the first half, but
yeah.
If Tazuna lets go of Koyori's hand, she will die 2 hours later.
And Professor also tells us, like, in episode 1, it seemed like it would happen immediately, right? There was a tense moment in episode 1 where Koyori, like, tries to let go of Tazuna and he doesn't let her because otherwise she would immediately die, or that's how it's been presented. Episode 2, the professor's like, oh no, if you let go of her hand, she'll die eventually. Oh, all right. That rule sort of applies, if I'm being honest, to anybody. If I let go of Sean's hand, he will also die. Eventually. It's a pretty universal rule, I'll be honest. It doesn't help. They try to have crammed like this pseudoscience, quasi-scientific bullshit into their explanations with the professor, and it's just awful. It's so terrible. And so you might think at this point, if you're more detail-oriented, all right, so the way it's still been presented is that they need to be holding hands nearly all of the time. But like Tazuna, he's a teenage boy, even though he looks like he's 12. So like, doesn't he need to go home and like it's school and live his life? Yes. How is he going to explain just living with a girl to his parents? Don't worry. The professor says he'll handle it, and just the parents are fine with it. The parents are like, okay, yeah, she's a Brazilian girl. Yeah, sure. She can live with us. This random Brazilian girl. Okay.
Because she looks very Brazilian.
Oh, yes. Everyone knows that the thing about Brazilian women is their albino hair and skin tone. That is the most notable thing about them. So the parents, they're totally cool with it. Don't even worry about that being even remotely a plot point. And so they have dinner. They have a good old family dinner. But Koyori, she doesn't know how to eat, Sean. You might wonder, what the fuck? Because I thought, like, okay, maybe she, like, lived, something happens, she's been in a coma for all this time. We get the robot girl trope, which I've ranted about plenty, but it's not even explained why she is this way, really. They sort of touch on it, I guess, but not really. So yeah, she literally does not know how to eat. She has no fucking idea. She needs to be taught how to eat, how to do everything else. But she's a quick learner. Goddamn, she's such a quick learner.
Hey man, so if you've been in a coma for however long, then of course you're going to not know how to do a few things. You know, I mean, times could change. Like, a lot can happen when you're in a coma. You know?
Yeah, I could forget how to eat, or like I'm about to talk about, she's incapable of undressing herself. That's something she can't do. Though it's interesting, they show a scene, so they're like, oh, we need to take a bath, right? So we both need to get undressed, and we both need to go take a bath together, right? However, they did have, and like, oh no, how are we gonna change clothes? They already changed clothes in this episode. For the little party meet and greet, they both changed outfits. But now they're just ignoring that, apparently. Sure. All right. Fuck it. So they undress, Tazuna, he undresses both of them. As he's doing so, for some reason, his first instinct is like, his inner monologue going on as he's undressing her is, no, officer, I swear she asked for it. Which is, what the fuck is that? What's going on there? What? Excuse me? Excuse me? What? That should not be your first thought. Here's a tip for all the fellas out there. Mm-hmm. If while you are undressing a woman under, I would argue, literally any circumstances, if you are thinking like, oh God, I hope the police don't arrest me, or some subsidiary of those thoughts, stop then. It's a bad idea. There can be many reasons why it's a bad idea, but it's a bad idea. So then they have a bath, and there's sexual tension, which makes me feel uncomfortable because she's like she's his sister proxy at this point, right?
Yes.
And so the fact that there's sexual tension between them, as well as both of them look 12, it's not good. I hate it. I really hate it. And then we finish the episode with some like moments at school where he just introduces her to to everyone, still holding her hand, says she doesn't speak or know Japanese, and don't worry about it. Okay, sure, I guess. They meet Lily, the president, President Lily, and she's like, yeah, all right, we've met now. And we end the scene, the businessman from episode 1 that we briefly saw, the guy who's like, that's a nice bike, that guy. We end
my
this
favorite
episode
character so far.
We end that episode showing him again, because he was super relevant, obviously. And he's talking to someone else at the same car in the exact same position with the exact same background. They've not moved in the past few days. And there's a little girl next to him, and they're chatting about business with 2 other people. And they leave, but the other people they leave, but they first comment of like, oh, that's such a cute little intern you have there. But the little girl, she's actually his boss. What? And that's how the episode ends. We just get, you've heard of Boss Baby, now we got Boss Lolly. All right, that's the transition we have moved to, apparently.
Oh, but I'm sure she'll have great character development in the episodes to come, Remington.
Oh boy, I can't wait. So episode 3, we talk with the professor again, more about meaningless bullshit. Then we cut to the lolly boss. We're back with the lolly boss. She gave a presentation with her employee, nice bike man, and after it, everyone's just like, you did so good, nice bike man, and you also have a really nice daughter or employee right there, since you're obviously the boss. And the nice bike man is like, why, thank you very much, and doesn't correct them, and neither does the boss lolly, even though she is very furious that people keep making this mistake. Sure, okay, why not?
So you're telling me it's like the joke from Full Metal Alchemist, except
it also
poorly
doesn't help
executed.
that in their relationship, so Boss Lolly, you might think, all right, she looks young, but like she is approximately, from the dialogue, around 30 years old.
Yes.
But it's not just that she looks like a child. It's that she acts like a child, and her employee infantilizes her, constantly treats her like a child, and she's like tsundere about it, where it's like, oh no, I'm a big girl, and I fucking hate it. I hate it so much. Goddamn, I hate their dynamic so fucking much. I hate
well, at least
Boss
they're just
Lolly.
side
Boss
characters,
Lolly
right? We
fucking
won't have to
sucks.
see them too much, right?
Around this time, at the same place, which is I don't know if they're at a university or somewhere. Who knows? They don't know. They don't give a shit.
It doesn't matter.
You
It'll
have
change on its
Kazuna.
own.
He's fixing something for someone, because that's what he does. And he's doing that, fixing it all up nice and good. Only one-handed, even though at this point we were told that they can let go for at least 15 minutes and still be okay. But he's still just fixing things one-handed instead of like fixing things two-handed and letting her hold on to like his wrist or something, or just occasionally every 15 minutes make sure you're holding hands. Don't worry about it. That would make too much fucking sense. And what do you know? Boss Lolly and Tazuna, they run into each other, and they're like, oh, didn't we sort of see each other briefly when you were fixing a car or some shit? Yeah, that's an excuse enough to chat. Okay, let's chat. And so they go out for dinner. Oh wait, I have to mention this, Sean. There was
What do you have to
also
mention,
we had a melodramatic flashback for the Boss Lolly, right?
Right.
Now you're thinking, what type of tragic backstory and personal struggles are they going to introduce to this? Her backstory is just like, oh god, I'm a lolly and everyone treats me that way. But like the way they handle it is so over the top and intense, and as if it's so fucking tragic. What the fuck is this show?
I mean, Remington, couldn't you just, I don't know, act maturely and be like, no, I'm actually an adult, so can we please focus on this?
You'd think that would be the solution, and that could actually be a decent character. The problem is, weebs don't want that. Weebs, when they want a lolly, they're not looking for an adult who looks like a lolly. They're looking for a little girl, Sean.
Okay,
So-
hold on, Rem. You are dangerously close to calling the majority of people who may watch anime pedophiles, and that is ground you do not want to tread.
I ain't saying anything that extreme. All I'm saying is, there is a reason that all, or at least the vast, vast, vast majority of lolly characters don't just look like a child, but also behave like one. I'm gonna leave it there. I'm gonna leave that right off to the side for everyone to ponder for a minute, and we can move on.
We're gonna get so many angry as fuck emails saying, no, look at this character. What about this character? This character has a lot of depth. Oh, but Tanya. No, this is dangerous ground, and I am scared for our future if you continue down
Don't you
this path.
disrespect my waifu. My waifu isn't like the other lollies.
Oh, Jesus Christ, Rem.
Oh, that
Rem,
felt so
no.
cathartic. Oh, God.
Rem, I know we're an explicit podcast, but that's too explicit for anybody.
All right, so continuing on. So we've discussed, like, whatever Handshaker team wins maybe gets a wish or something. They mentioned multiple times, like, nobody knows for sure. Who knows how it even got spread? Don't question the backstory of this. Fuck you. But the wish for the lolly is she wants to make everything equal, and so she won't be treated poorly anymore. Basically, she's a commie business lolly. So who knows? Maybe she and Panya would be friends.
Oh dear.
So they have dinner, all four of them, right? Business people and protagonists. And as they're on their way, okay, something I need to fucking mention. As they're having dinner, is that at one point, the food they have, Sean?
Yes.
Or at least the food that Kuyori has. It's a nice strawberry parfait. Delicious.
Oh,
Lovely.
I love strawberry parfaits. They're very full-bodied and delicious.
But with corn in it.
Pardon?
Because the restaurant's called Corn Cocktail.
Pardon?
So they had corn in it. Now, as it turns out, Sean, the corn in the parfait is just candy corn.
Okay.
However, by the fact that Kuyori and Tazuna they didn't know that when they were ordering, and they were like looking at the menu and they were like, oh, that's weird. It doesn't say that in the menu, which is, I would argue, a fault. Also, why? It's weird. I don't understand Corn Cocktail. It's a weird place.
I mean,
But that's the Lolly's restaurant. Okay.
Are you one of those people that absolutely despises candy corn, Remington?
I think that it is not always the worst. I can enjoy it. Here's where candy corn is, Sean.
Yes.
Candy corn is pleasant if I am expecting nothing, but absolutely tragic if I'm expecting even like a fun-size Snickers. So it just depends on your expectations. If someone's like, hey, you want a tiny bit of candy corn, and I don't have any candy with me, I'm like, sure, why not? I'll take a little bit of candy corn. But if I'm trick-or-treating, knock, 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 trick-or-treat, and they're like, all right, here's some loose candy corn for your bags, kiddos. Fuck you. Fuck you. I hope some evil befalls you. And I hope that you end up watching this show. I hope you watch Handshakers all the way through if you're the type of person to give out loose candy corn to trick-or-treaters. If you want to give it to guests who are just around, sure, that's fine. Giving it to trick-or-treaters when they are expecting superior candy, get fucked.
Oh my goodness. So what you're saying is, Rem, better than circus peanuts, but worse than Smarties?
Yeah, I'd probably say that, though. I think Smarties, they're on thin ice in the trick-or-treaters game. They add a little bit of variety, but you only need one house that gives out Smarties on the entire route. But we're not here to talk about Halloween trick-or-treating strategies or values. As it turns out, Sean, what a twist upon twist. After dinner, Boss Lolly and her subordinate, they hold hands too, and that you've initiated a duel now. It's a ziggurat fight, because they're handshakers too. What?
Are you sure you didn't blow the duel joke a bit early, considering the episodes to come?
Fair, but fuck you. I don't know. My mind's fried. Don't expect me to be well-timed with my jokes. You're lucky they exist.
We're lucky you exist after this show.
Truly. So they start fighting in a really awkward fight scene that's not great. It's bad. So the Lolly and her subordinate, their name is Blade and Dagger, because the subordinate, Nice Bike Man, he has a big old sword, and the lolly has a gigantic shuriken that can be detached into multiple swords, which isn't a dagger.
Are you
Well,
sure?
I'm pretty sure. I don't think it can be a dagger if it's the same size as you are. Like, I don't think by anyone's definition.
I mean, maybe if you're like a hobbit.
Maybe, even then, short sword, at best. But no, it's a full on. I mean, it is shorter than the gigantic sword of Nice Bike Man, but they are just swords. They're all swords. So
Oops, all swords.
yeah, they're fighting. They also have the ability to clone themselves a bunch. Sure, okay, why not? Fuck it. Who needs rules? They get really close. They actually start slashing the protagonist, and you think, all right, well, they can win. They just like fucking get him. Keep slashing. But no, they slash him delicately twice, and then they retreat for no reason, despite Tazano being unable to defend himself in that moment. Why? Because otherwise there wouldn't be a fight, and our protagonist would lose. So that's it. That's the reason. We get to episode 4, and we're continuing that fight. They're going all throughout the city. Apparently, everybody is riding their swords as a vehicle, like a high-powered Segway. That's what swords are, apparently. Just drag that motherfucker through the earth, and it will propel itself somehow.
I mean, the last time I tried to ride a sword, I had to go to the hospital, Rem.
See, if you were in the ziggurat when riding a sword, those injuries wouldn't last long at all, Sean.
No, instead they have left permanent scars, and that tain't something you want to mess with.
So as they're fighting, Tazna is like, oh man, I feel like I'm getting better at this, despite this being like only his second fight and the only one he actually knows what he's doing, sort of. But he has the line like, oh man, I wonder if my level as a handshaker has gone up. And why the fuck does every anime need to be gamified? Why can't it just be like, oh man, this is intense? Why does it have to be like, oh yes, and now we're getting new abilities and leveling up. I hope I get more experience. Look, I enjoy gamified things as much as the next guy, but fucking stop. Jesus Christ, not everything needs to be that way, y'all.
Oh, trust me, Rem, there are some really good anime out there that ignore that. But I'm gonna tell you right now, I didn't show you this anime because I had any high hopes for it.
Oh, so they continue fighting in another terrible fight that lasts way too long. Protagonists win. Wow, who would have thought it? Wow. As they're chatting afterwards, chatting with the professor and also Boss Lolly and her subordinate, everyone's just chatting afterwards, right? Boss Lolly and her subordinate, they're apologetic. They're like, hey, sorry, we didn't know like you were fighting for her life, which like they could have explained at any moment, but they didn't because reasons. And they're like, you know what? Now we'll be your mentor and guardian. And what does that mean? Don't fucking worry about it. We don't know either. Step 1, you need an edgy, overdramatic name based on your weapon. All right.
Okay.
And so they're like, we'll come up with Single Gear is your name. And then this is what they do, Sean. They're like, Single Gear, it's a great name for you. And then they're like, get it? Because like you fight, but Koyori doesn't, and like you fight with gears. So like Single Gear. And then they're like, no, you don't need to explain it. It makes it less cool if you have to explain it. But like, it's what the show fucking did. Being aware of your flaws does not remove the flaws.
At what point does the cartoon bat come and talk to us, Rem?
Oh, I hate that cartoon bat. It's so bad, Sean. But it does. I have a question for you, Sean. Don't get me wrong. We have a whole other episode to talk about. But before we get to the final episode that I saw, what's our handshaker's name, Sean? What is our overdramatic, edgy as fuck handshaker's name? Us two.
Oh man. Oh god, it's got to be. So our weapon, obviously. I mean, we've got together. We're Jesus lookalike and a hippie nerdy ginger, and our weapon clearly seems to be a combination of microphones and self-hatred.
Oh no. Oh god.
So our edgy as fuck stupid handshaker's name should be something along the lines of...
I'm so excited to see what the fuck you're about to say, because it can't. I'm so confident it's gonna be god awful, but I'm excited to hear just how bad it's gonna hit me with it, Sean. Hit me with our goddamn handshaker's name. What is it?
All right. I think our handshaker's name is gonna be something along the lines of the Talking Dead.
Oh God! No, I think first of all, for like trademark reasons, I think that
Oh, fuck,
was
yeah, that's the Walking Dead
the
talk
Walking
show, isn't
Dead
it?
had
Fuck.
a talk show that they just called the Talking Dead. So fuck you, you're not funny and you're not even
wait.
original.
We can do the JoJo thing.
No, I don't want to do the JoJo. I already hate
The
where this
dead
is going.
talking. There we go. That's all we had to do. We've avoided copyright.
The dead talking. What a name! Oh man.
Hey, it's got that edge. It's got exactly what we need because, microphones and we're dead inside, so I feel like it's appropriate.
It's so fucking dumb, and amazingly, it might be a little too clever for this show, which blows my mind because it's terrible. So episode 5, we get a preview of what's about to happen, and we see Kiyori playing a Precious Memories card game. Let me ask you, Sean, is Precious Memories an actual card game in Japan?
Oh, 100% actually. It is a real-ass card game where you can play with other anime characters in your decks. And it's Japan exclusive, and it's pretty popular. And 100%, this anime...
That does not seem like the game they were playing.
Oh, no.
They were playing Precious Memories, but with like Yu-Gi-Oh cards, with some like magic or some shit. That's what they were playing.
Yeah, no, Remington, that entire power system, the whole Precious Memories thing is the most blatant product placement in anime history, as far as I can tell.
No, yeah, literally the moment I saw it, like I've never heard of Precious Memories, but at the moment they show the cards so blatantly, I was like, oh, this has to be product placement, which is why I asked the question, and it was confirmed. So, we rewind. Now we're at a restaurant that is corn cocktail, but is not corn cocktail. It's like a fancier corn cocktail. So Koyori orders the corn cocktail. She gets the corn parfait again.
Wait. They're at a different restaurant and they have a corn parfait?
Yeah. Yes, they do. Sean.
What? Hold on.
It took me a minute. It took me a minute to realize it because they were like, wow, look at all this amazing technology. And like the boss lolly is like, oh man, I wish we could get all this great technology. And I was like, are we not in your restaurant again? No, apparently not. Where are they? Don't really know. No, I don't really have a clue. I may have missed a context clue, but I was confused.
Honestly, that could very well be the case. But at the same time, hey, at least the food looks great, right, Rem?
The parfait looks decently nice, except the candy corn does just look like corn. That's all my comments about the food.
Oh, yeah?
There's some brown mush. Tasna orders some brown mush.
Oh, goodness. Then I can't remember if this happened in the episodes you watched, but at some point during the series, a parfait comes sliding out of a door, and it's just a JPEG with a motion tween attached.
Oh my god. It might have. But good god, this show hurts. And here's the thing. I want to talk about the visuals and the aesthetic for a minute, Sean.
Okay.
Because, the very opening of the show, right? It was exposition over credits. Basically, it was like a Disney Channel original film where it was a person talking about their life. Meanwhile, you have everyone who has been involved with the making of this movie. Their names flash up, right? It was that, but like edgier. And as it really hit me, just how many people contributed to this show, I realized early on, this is not a small indie production of a show, Sean. This had a large team working behind it. And I am going to argue, unlike many things we've seen, this show, at least aesthetically, it wasn't created out of laziness. Oh, no. An insane amount of effort is put into the colors and the art design and the shadows and the lighting. So much effort is put into all of these different things, which is why it's all the more tragic that it still looks like garbage all of the time. Like, you can tell, oh man, motherfuckers, they put some work, some sweat and tears into making this show, but it was for fucking nothing. Oh my god.
I've got some bad news for you, Rem. I think it's honestly the opposite of what you're saying. You want to know how I can tell?
Do share.
So you commented on the backgrounds, for example, right?
Yeah, which aren't great.
Okay, so half the time the backgrounds are pictures from things like Google Street View with a filter placed on top of them.
Yeah, that is exactly what that felt like.
The other half of the time, they're 3D environments designed by somebody who has no idea what a 3D environment looks like.
Yep.
Like like if you were to do what a lot of people have done and pause the show while watching it and just
Oh, no, don't
analyze
do
the
that.
background,
they will have blatant, like, I'm gonna call it B-roll. It's not exactly B-roll, but it's like, we're at this location. You remember this shot we saw with all of these same characters doing all of these same things? And I agree. Let me rephrase what I said. Most of the time it's a lazy piece of shit, but there are moments that they put an insane amount of effort into like specific shots, which
like
is
into
crazy.
the president's tits, for example.
Oh yeah, no, that's half the budget, the show. And like every single frame meticulously crafted. Speaking of the president, so after we have lunch with all of our characters, they talk. It doesn't really matter. Then we have Tazuna and Koyori. They're walking away, right? Or I think like maybe they might go home before this. I don't know. I can't remember.
Trust me, continuity is very limited in this show. Just keep going.
They don't give a shit. Why should I? But they're walking along the city streets, holding hands. All of a sudden, Koyori's gone. How is she gone? I don't know, dude. She's just fucking gone. She fucking disappeared. Oh no, that's dangerous because if they're not holding hands within an indefinite time frame that was immediate and then increased to 15 minutes and then increased to around 2 hours, but it's still very ambiguous, then she's gonna die. So he's like, oh no, where is she? So he starts looking. Meanwhile, she is found. She's found. Thank goodness. And she's found by President Lily and her brother. And President Lily and her little brother, they're holding hands, which shows that they're obviously handshakers, like very clearly. It's gonna be a reveal later this episode, but like very obvious. It's not good foreshadowing.
Mm-hmm.
So they're like, hey, just come with us. We'll try calling Tazuna and see how it works. Tazuna, he gets stopped by a businessman who apparently knows the professor and is super cryptic, and that conversation lasts forever and doesn't go anywhere. Back to Koyori. Her and Lily are watching the little brother just dominate at Precious Memories. Oh my god, he's the fucking champ. And he's the card player who like everyone imagines they will be. He has an edgy as fuck nickname. He's like the Dark Emperor or some shit that everyone calls him by. Everyone is watching his duel with a total nerd and watching him crush it and be super cool, and everyone's like, oh my god, he's so fucking cool. I wrote this down at this point, and we're going to touch on this later. I wrote that it's really weird how Lily fangirls over her brother. She feels more like a groupie than a sister, because she's fangirling and she's jumping up and down, which is once again just an excuse for her boobs to have a mind of their fucking own. But yeah, little brother, he wins. Wow. And then they're like, oh, Koyori, do you want to learn how to play? And so Koyori is amazing at the game because she's such a quick learner. Oh my god. Finally, Lily's able to contact Tazuna. They meet up, right? And it's like, oh, cool. So happy to be here. But Koyori also had a moment with Lily where Lily was like, oh my god, I just love my brother so much. And at this point, I wrote the note, Lily wants to fuck her brother 100%. I had no idea. Because continuing on, just this conversation, she was like, yeah, he's just grown to be like so smart and tall. And I peeked in the bath recently and I was, excuse me? What the fuck? And then she's like, hey, Koyori, is it weird to like love your little brother? Like, love your little brother? And that was horribly uncomfortable. So, oof. So then Tazuna gets there and Koyori gives him a big hug because she just learned about incest, and hey, she's Tazuna's proxy sister, so who knows, man?
You sure, Rem? Are you sure that you weren't just misreading the subtle overtones of how a sister cares for her brother?
All right, Sean. Role playing real quick. All right. Okay, Sean. I'm your older sister. Okay.
Okay, a bit weird, but I'll go with it. All right. How you doing?
Saw Beth the other day, Sean.
Hold on.
You're good.
Do you honestly think my older sister?
You're growing into such a tall boy.
Oh God! When did my older sister become a smoker and move to Jersey? What the fuck?
I just love you so much.
Oh no.
So yeah, that's the episode ends with Kiori and Tazuna there holding hands to make sure she doesn't die. Meanwhile, brother and sister, they hold hands too, and what do you know? A ziggurat battle has been initiated, and they're like, what? What a twist! What a surprise! What a shocking moment! Boy, oh boy! And then they get ready to fight, and you gotta imagine that, like, President Lily, her wish is just like, man, do I want to bone my bro? Like that. Maybe her wish is like, oh, I wish he was just my stepbrother. I don't know, man. I don't know. I hate this show so fucking much. This show is so fucking trash. Not only does it have like everything I hate in an anime, visuals terrible, over-sexualized, terrible views on women and relationships and love and everything, a plotting pace that makes things last forever and half the time nothing is happening, action scenes which are the most boring and confusing action scenes I may have ever seen in my life, as well as the motion sickness. Genuinely, after the first episode, I had to sit myself down and be like, can I do this? Can I watch 5 episodes? And I'm amazed I powered through, because I faced a lot of shit, but this is the first one that, like, I wasn't sure physically if I was going to be able to make it through.
Oh, but Rem, you want to know what's the best part about the fact that you made it through all 5 episodes?
That I can repress all of the memories that it is left with me?
No, Rem. Is that you haven't seen the worst plotline in the story.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Oh, no. The final boss of the whole series is the creepiest, most fucked up of the lot.
Oh,
especially
God.
because it's framed as a good thing in some regards.
Oh, I
don't know. I
just
didn't want to use a
hearing
BS
this.
rule on this show because, 1, it made me ill to watch, and 2, I couldn't do that all to you at once, Rem. Like, even I have my limits of evilness, but who knows? Maybe one day we'll have to come back to Handshakers.
Unironically, the show, I don't know if it's the absolute worst we've seen. It's a contender. It is one that I would genuinely have to consider. Is this the worst we have ever covered?
Well, Rem, the only show rated lower on this than that we've covered is fucking Forest Fairy 5.
Which is so good in a so bad it's good kind of way. That one, it's terrible, but like in a really interesting and unique way. This? No. God, no. Fuck no. Jesus Christ, no.
Oh, so do you have any final thoughts on Handshakers? Anything that can redeem it? Any good qualities that made you want to watch more?
You know? Yep, that about covers it. I tried real hard.
I even set you up for a goof and you couldn't even come up with one because it was so horrible.
No, man, it's all bad. I don't know, man.
Oh, that's fucking amazing, Remington. Holy shit. Who knows? Who knows?
I'm
I
so
would love to
fried
never
right
have to
now.
watch this show ever again, but I'm going to tell you right now, not only does it get worse, but the sequel series isn't like a direct sequel series, it's a 10-year time skip series.
I cannot express how little I am interested in ever seeing more of this shit again.
Are you sure you don't want to see how the characters end up after 10 years later?
Oh man, because they have such deep fucking characters now. I can't wait to see how all of these intricate nuances develop further.
They don't.
Yup.
But Rem, isn't this exactly the kind of thing you'd want to see for a horror? Like, it's the definition of one of the scariest anime I've shown you, I feel.
I'm just hoping upon hope that next week our Halloween special is something spooky and neat and cool and not this trash.
Oh, well then, Rem, I guess I have one final question to ask you. Is there any chance you'd like to go and watch some more Handshakers with me?
I would rather chop my own hand off than watch any more Handshakers.
But how will you hold mine if you do that, Rem?
Oh no, it's a sacrifice I guess I have to make.
And with that being said, thank you all so much for tuning in. We really appreciate it. If you enjoyed our de-evolution into madness, then please leave a review on whatever platform you listen on, whether that be Apple Podcasts, Podbean, Stitcher, Spotify, or word of mouth is an excellent way to help us grow as well. And as well as if you'd like to help help us more directly, we in fact have a Patreon, patreon.com/animeoutofcontext, where you can gain access to all kinds of lovely bonus material, including pre-banters, as well as getting our, or rather your name horribly mispronounced on the show by none other than Remington himself. So Remington, who do we have to thank this week?
Well, you know what? Before I do want to mention, when it comes to our Patreon, we hit our first milestone of 75 patrons, which is so great, and we're so grateful for that, which means we're going to start doing video stuff to some capacity. It's a little harder because, pandemic stuff. So we're not sure. We didn't plan that when making that goal, but we'll figure something out. But we're also getting awfully close to the next milestone goal, which is me ranking Pokemon in a completely normal way. Don't worry about it. That's gonna be weird. Anyway, I would like to send our thanks to the Bland Bitch protagonists as well as our magical girls. But moving on up, we get to the Yandere waifus, who right now they're just holding our hand, keeping us alive through the pain. On that list, we have Matthew B, Visual Bin, Reverse Kismo, Juliana, Tevin Poole. Sword Art Online is our favorite anime. Sojita Gunha. I'm gonna say Sojita Gunha. Snap Snips, Sarah Birch, Salty Pretzel, Sage Schiffner, Ross Palmer, Remington Merrill, Ready to Be Isekai'd, Remhub, Peter Jojo is God Tier Vlacity, Oni-chan, more like Moani-chan. Oh, fuck. Old Man Rom, McBuckfoy, Kenneth Reed, Kazumurako, Jacob Livingston, Ichigo 015 Simp. I like AOT for the ecchi. I forgot to change my name for like a month, but it's Grant Fire type. I will not feel shame about the mall pretzels. Don't. They're great. H. Wood, Glenn Michael Dolan, Farmer, vote, Weeb. I agree. Dodeca Fuck, Devin McCutcheon, Bad Bunny, Apostle of the Church of Remington, Anonymous, Let's Talk About Handshakers Gamer. Oh, can't fucking wait for your response. Andrew Rowicki, Alston Limerick, Alexander Naciensenyo, and Alex from, oh, fuck, that's some good ham. You got me on that one. You got me on that one. You got me, Alex. All right, but next up on the list, we're moving on to the Boy Wizard tier, walking straight into Mordor. No issues, no problems. And for this tier, you know what? I might have done this before. Fuck y'all, doing it again. Everyone's getting their own magical item, own cool magical item. So we get rare. I'm gonna simp Hibike Euphonium until it's reviewed. Kumiko, you get you know what? You get the Golden Snitch, a really nice magical item, that one. Then we have Pilkster, the Symphogear Advocate. Pilkster, I leave you with a deck of self-shuffling playing cards. You never have to shuffle ever again. They shuffle themselves. So well, congratulations. Yeah, that one's just useful. That one's just pleasant. We have Miguel Deleon. Miguel, you know what I think would be really what you need? You need some winged keys. You need some winged keys. They're gonna be obnoxious. They have a mind of their own at times, as we have seen. But they can fly. They're neat. So take it. Then we have Matthew Robinson. Matthew. I'm gonna give you a nice one. You are gonna get, what the fuck is this? You're gonna get a dissimulator, which is apparently a musical instrument that emits loud cheers and puffs of smoke in your national colors. So.
Oh yeah. That was what was it? That was during the fourth book, if I remember correctly.
That's pretty fucking neat.
World Cup.
That's pretty neat, especially if you're a sports fan, Matthew. Then we have Killer Queen Requiem. I'm gonna give you the accusation chair. It's a chair. It has magical chains in it. You can use it for like interrogations, or like, who knows, if you're feeling kinky. Accusation chair. All right.
Oh. Oh no.
Bind and break, baby.
Oof.
We have Eternitarian next up. Eternitarian. You know what, Eternitarian? I'm gonna give you the Omnioculars. They're magical binoculars. You can replay and slow down the action that you're seeing, which is cool. You could get the same thing from like a camera. Fuck you, Eternitarian. That's what you're getting. Don't complain.
No, it's better because it's magical.
Yeah, there you go. Enrique Perez Torres. Enrique, I'm gonna leave you with some flu powder. You know, everyone needs some flu powder. You got some flu powder. It can help you travel. Your commute just got way easier.
Only problem is, what if their fireplace isn't connected to the Flu network?
Fireplace not included. All right.
Yeah.
If I've essentially, it's like I've given a year pass for the bus, and if you don't live near a bus, I don't control that. Okay, I gave you a neat gift. If I see it on eBay, I'll be angry. All right, then we have Delina Perez. Delina, let's see, what do you get, Delina? You know, Delina, grow your own warts kit. You ever wanted to grow your own warts? You figure, hey, my skin, it's too darn perfect. I know you've been thinking that lately, Delina. You're like, how can I pull off the authentic witch in time for Halloween when my skin is this beautiful? Don't worry, grow your own warts kit just for you, Delina.
I like how you could have gone with anything, like literally anything else, and it would have been fine. But you chose one of the most, like, I don't even know if that's even in the books.
Last but not least, we got Dedicated Sadist. Dedicated Sadist, you get the Hogwarts Express. You get the entire
whole
fucking train. You get the whole train. Dedicated Sadist. Just for you.
Poor Delina Perez got a fucking warts kit. And you gave the sadist a whole fucking train. I'll take the lot. Apparently you will, you greedy fuck.
Then we move on to our highest tier, the peak of the mountain, going to the White House, representing Corey in the house. We got the Chevano Musco tier. On the Chevano Musco tier, we have Touchy Diplomat, all lowercase because we have to specify that we've still not been clarified on this. And you know what? All Chevano Musco tier, they are getting, in contrast to Handshakers, I'm gonna give each of you just something lovely. Something absolutely lovely. So, Touchy Diplomat, you get, old book smell. That's what
like
you get.
that. That's pretty good.
Right? Yeah. Silicon Spectre, you know what you get, Silicon Spectre? You get... You get baby goats. You get baby goats.
Oh, that's perfect.
It is perfect. I think you'll love it. We have Zachary Shirley has a football team made out of golden retriever puppies. It's not in the rule book, that I can't. It's true. You have all of those golden retriever puppies, and
oh, I can't wait. That's so good.
And you know, I mean, you already have those, but I'm gonna give you something even more. I'm gonna give you just real warm, comfortable snuggles. And I'm giving it to you and all of your puppies. So all of them together, just real swell.
Hey, that's a good book in my book.
We have a Touchy Diplomat with a capital T. You know, you gotta specify this. And you know, you're getting authentic scary stories with your friends around a campfire. You know, it just real fun experience. You're all just spooking each other, camping out.
Hold on, when
together.
you say authentic, are you talking about like the authentic experience or actual authentic spooky stories, as in like Blair Witch shit?
Hey, why not both?
Because this nice thing sounds like a threat almost.
Then we have the theocratic fascist for the Church of Remington, who is not problematic or murderous at all. Oh boy. I did that to myself last week.
Yep.
You know what I think is perfect for you? You know what? Just straight up a 3-day weekend. A 3-day weekend.
I love a 3-day weekend.
In our capitalist hellscape, few things are better than a 3-day weekend. We have Amoto, Ahigao, Uwu, Waluigi for life, oh. I could just give you Waluigi, and probably that would be sufficient, if I'm being honest.
I feel like that's a double-edged sword, though, if you think about it.
But you know what I'm gonna provide you? I'm gonna, here's a weird one. Canceling plans you weren't really interested in the first place. Or, you know what, even better? When somebody else cancels plans that you didn't want to have in the first place.
Oh fuck yeah.
So good.
Oh.
You're dreading it, you're like, oh god, really? But then they're like, hey, I'm so sorry, but I can't make it work, and you're like, oh no, it's fine, and you're so fucking relieved. That's what you get, Amoto.
Oh man, that might be the sexiest thing you've said on the podcast.
last but not least, we have the almighty sinner. I could throw some hedonistic pleasures right at you, but instead, I'm just gonna say that you get the image of a snowy day, of just a blanket of snow that has not been stepped in yet. It's just a perfect layer.
A bit like when you open that jar of peanut butter and it's smooth on top. Ooh.
Yeah, exactly, right? And then it's up to you. The power's in your hands. Do you enjoy the beauty, or do you get to be the one to break the beauty in an equally satisfying way? That's up to you, almighty sinner. That's your responsibility now. So to absolutely every single one of you, thank you so much. And once again, if we get, I think it's like 10 more patrons, then I have to put out what'll end up being like genuinely 6 hours of content, and I have no idea how that's gonna fucking work out. Nonetheless, thank you guys so much for doing it. If you'd like to contact us, whether it's for a comment, question, feedback, or recommendation, you can either tweet us at AnimeConPod on Twitter or send an email over onto animeoutofcontext@gmail.com.
Once again, guys, thank you all so much for tuning in. Stay safe out there. For the love of God, if you live in the Americas, vote like it means your fucking life, because I'll be honest, it kind of does at this point. And as always, don't fuck your sister.
You are a bit of a vagina.